Hi, everyone. You're listening to episode 66 of the Fifth Meeple Board Game Podcast. Thanks so much for inviting us to your table. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Fifth Meeple Board Game Podcast. We're a group of diverse friends who offer our takes on the latest and greatest board games to hit our table. I'm your host, Daniela, the goofy noob, and I'm joined today by the collector.
Hey, this is David.
The intellectual introvert.
Hi, everyone. This is Chris.
And last but not least, the deluxeifier.
Hello, it's Pete.
All right, today we are doing our best to profit from other people's misfortune, backstabbing and undercutting as best we can as we discuss our thoughts on the small box card game Schadenfreude. We should probably get started before someone else screws me over.
Schadenfreude is a 3 to 5 player, no trump, must follow trick taking card game with an interesting twist. The deck consists of 50 total cards with 12 cards in 4 suits with values ranging from -3 to +9. There are also 2 non-suited wild cards with values of 0 and 10. In 3-player games, the -2, -1, and +9 cards are removed, and play begins with each player being dealt 10 cards in a 5-player game or 12 otherwise. Once the lead player plays a card, you must follow suit if you can, otherwise you can play any card. The winner of the trick is the player who played the second highest card in the lead suit, with wild cards being included in that suit. That player takes their card plus any offsuit cards and places them in front of them, discarding any resulting pairs, and then leads the next trick. Once all cards have been played, players score points equal to the sum of the cards remaining in front of them. At that point, if anyone has scored more than 40 points, the game ends. Anyone with 40 or more points is then eliminated, and the highest remaining player, who is not tied with another player, wins the game and derives endless pleasure from the other player's misfortune. Schadenfreude was designed by CTR and was first published in 2020 by Studio Turbine.
All right, guys, what is it about Schadenfreude that makes this trick taker a treat?
I love the second highest aspect of the trick taking. It sounds really straightforward and simple. Okay, it's just the second highest instead of the highest. You think you can get your mind around it. And then at least for me, at least once per game, probably more, I play a card that I either think is a safe play and I'm not going to win the trick, or I think, oh, this is an easy win for me. And something about, oh, how does this second highest thing gonna work out just screws me over. And a lot of times it's because, well, it's the only one that gets played, and it doesn't matter that it's not, it can't be that it can't be the second highest. It's the highest card. It's the only card. Mm-hmm. And so I like that mind shift challenge where, yeah, it's a trick taking game, but you're kind of changing everything you thought you knew about trick taking.
I do like the interaction, because sometimes when you're following that suit, you may want to either set somebody up or play a card so somebody else actually wins and decreases their points. So you can have a little bit of that interaction. It's tough to pull off, but when you do, it's pretty rewarding.
Yeah, I would say I just love the different layers of this game. I think the more I dig into this game, I just love the different layers that this game offers. Pete was talking about, letting somebody else win just so you can feed them another card to eliminate points that they have. I also like that, you can't just let everybody get points. It's a weird trick taker in that you want to stay with the pack. If you get too far behind the pack, you're probably not going to win because it's the second person. So basically in this game, we're trying to kick somebody off over 40 points, and then whoever's highest next to 40 wins. And so if you're not taking any points and thinking you're doing a good job like at most trick takers, you're not going to win this game because you need some points. And so I love that aspect of when do we take some, when do we not? And, I just love the interaction of being able to kick somebody out, but you got to kick out the right person. It's always a little bit of fun.
What you're describing is, for me, the best part of the game. And that's where the game really gets interesting, where it's, okay, somebody could go off the board right now. Can I get 2 people off the board depending on where I'm at? And that to me, again, is the best part of the game. I think it's where it really lives up to its title, because that's where you are really taking pleasure in somebody's misfortune, where, yeah, if you had 40 points, you would have won. You got 41 because I stuck you with that last number there or something like that. Really, really lives up to its name.
Yeah, I remember we played this like over a year ago, like I think September of 24 or something, and we had a good time with it. I think it was just Chris, David, and I. But then when we were playing it again and I was relearning it, I didn't know if David was my friend or not, because as we're playing it, he's like, Danielle, I'm going to help you out. And like, so he's feeding me cards, and he's like, okay, you can knock those ones off and those ones cancel. And the whole time I'm sitting there going, I don't know if I'm like being lied to or whatever. So it's just a funner. Yeah, it's a more fun game to just kind of wrap your head around. Like, all right, who's my friend? Who's my foe? Are people really helping me out? You got to keep your own game right in front of you. And I would say you need to play like a little bit more aggressive in this game than just, I'll just wait for the card to come around and maybe, I'll get the cards I need, yada, yada. You can't be aloof in this. You got to be watching what's going on around you. So
it's a lot of fun just to try to manipulate, again, what someone else has in front of them. And, I just got the perfect card in front of me. That's just what I needed. And someone else sneaks in that, okay, you're going to cancel that card out. So there's a lot of fun in that, too.
Yeah.
It's a take that I can live with because, again, I can do things to set myself up or adjust to it.
I just want to add in the negative cards really can affect the game a little bit. You wouldn't think it does, but it really does, because then all of a sudden that second highest is different when you're playing negative cards. You think you're in a good spot and you're not. So very interesting.
Yeah, and for your total too, to where you can actually move your score backwards a little bit and I busted, but now if I can't match it, I can maybe win a negative and things along those lines. So
and really the endings are fun as well. When you're getting to the end and you think you just landed on 40 or like you're good or whatever that number is, and then someone else ekes up like right behind you and then they win and you're like, what? Like you just, I don't know. The endings sometimes are really great because for me, I can't keep track of everybody's math at the table when everybody's kind of like, I'm going to win. So
this is a game though too that could play 3 hands and then the game's over. If somebody really gets set really hard. And so just keep that in mind when you're playing it. It could be a very quick game, or it could go on a little bit. I don't know what the average number of hands that we might play might be, like 4 or 5, but I do know there's been somewhere it's like 3 and done.
Yeah, I think it's mostly around 3, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
because there's this weird game, right, where we're all feeding somebody, we're kind of laughing at them, they're getting really high, but then you realize you're not in a good position to actually win this game if they go off. So then you kind of try to start helping them a little bit. You're like, I don't really want Daniela to go off the cliff yet because I'm in a really bad position. And so I think this game, that's the reason why I like it, is because there's so many different dynamics. It's just like, just because somebody's way farther ahead of everybody, I don't necessarily want them to go off the cliff yet because I'm not in a good position myself. So the alliances and how you help other people and like feed people points is very interesting, I think, as far as how this game goes. It always makes it different. Like every time we play it, I feel like it's just different. I never feel like I'm out of it necessarily, but I never feel like I'm in control either. There's a lot of meme things people can do, especially when you play a 9 and then somebody's like, no, I'm going to play a 10. That's always a fun time.
Yeah, and that's one of the ones that burns me that I always forget. Oh, yeah, there's that 10
there's
still
that
out
one random 10 in the stack, yeah.
I also like that this game, there's a lot of trick takers that have come out recently, and this game to me differentiates itself with simple and straightforward yet still different rule set. A lot of the newer trick takers that we play, there can be a lot of complicated rules. And okay, you match this with the die, and then you have to flip this card over there, and hey, you're moving these things up on these tracks, and it's like it's too much. It's not a trick taker. This one, it's just pretty much straightforward. It's really clean, but it's still very, very different experience for that.
Agree. All right, so anything about Schadenfreude that makes you feel like you just got the short end of the stick?
It's part of the game, but as we said, you're not fully in control. You're kind of along for the ride and doing the best you can and mitigate your score and trying to manipulate other people's score. So I think you got to be okay with that. But I think it can be a little rough for some people to handle that.
Yeah, especially if you're going into it not really understanding that, because some of the times I'm thinking, can I even really come back from this, or can I really even manipulate this? Or, if you get sent off, you just get sent off. I mean, so there's that. But yeah, half the time, sometimes it's that luck of the draw, whatever gets dealt to you and how you're playing it and how aggressive you can be.
Yeah. For me, I don't have any negatives necessarily about the game. It's all about the production. For me, the cards have an up and a down, and so you have to arrange the cards a certain way in your hand. There's no reason it has to be that way. They just do that. And then if I remember correctly, David, I'm looking at yours. Yours are sleeved. If they're not sleeved, they are this. The cards don't slide a lot. It's like they're not coded correctly, and it's just not it's not a good production for what it is.
Yeah, the production's suffers definitely. I think the cards themselves, people have had issues with them. I mean, we always have issues telling the purple and the blue apart, so we have to say, like, I'm playing a 1 shield or a 1 sword, because the colors are a little bit very similar, and it is hard to read on some of the tables. And I feel like that's when you're talking about such a great game, and the only thing you can really critique about it, in my opinion, is the production. that's just a shame. I mean, they should do a better job on that.
Yeah, the other downside I have is it's 3-player minimum. And so, hey, if it's something that even I could convince my wife to try to play it, then I still can't play it with her because we're only 2. And again, we did do our own little poor man's variant of a 2-player game, which while it wasn't great, it worked. We played several times at Origins using that variant, but you have to accept that the fact that it's a 3-player game only, or a 3 to 5-player game, but it's not a 2-player
Like the neighbor
game.
over.
Yeah.
I would say what's the availability? I know you probably talked to it, but I think that would be another downside. I don't believe this is readily available.
Yeah, it's harder to find nowadays. There are some different websites now bringing it over. So if you get lucky, I'll give you a name of one of mine, even though
it's not David's
I don't
card
necessarily
store or
like
something,
to give my sources out, but you could look up Tanuki, TANUKI games, and you can find some imports that they're bringing in, and you can find this currently on their site, and I think it's going for like almost $40. Also, there's a copy right now new going on BGG for $30, so you can find it, but it's sporadic. It's like it's either in stock or you can't find a copy to save your life. So it seems like it comes in waves, but there are people that are definitely, I feel like, importing these on a regular basis. So you're going to probably pay somewhere between like $30 and $40 for this kind of game. That's even used.
So, quick question: the name of the game, what does that actually mean?
Schadenfreude is taking pleasure out of other people's pain.
No wonder I like this game so much.
Yeah, this is right up your alley, David. You can guys just call David.
All right, guys, as much
Must
as
be a
I'm enjoying
Japanese
this
thing.
discussion, let's finish this one off. On a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being a fifth meeple recommendation to buy and 1 being a recommendation to burn, where does Schadenfreude rank for you? Chris?
Yeah, this is a 5 for me. I enjoy this game. I don't have to buy it because the group that I'm speaking with around this table bought me a copy for my birthday. So
Happy
thank you yet
birthday,
again
Chris.
for that. That's awesome.
He's now 66. Just kidding.
Come on. But I like this game. It's a 5 for me. I think if you can get your hands on it, do it. Especially if you like trick takers, it's a great little twist. And again, you don't have to learn 5,000 new rules. Here's the new rule. Start to wrap your head around that, and then take pleasure in other people's pain.
Mm-hmm.
Pete.
I'm going to come in at a 4 on this. I do enjoy the game. I'm not sure I'd run out and buy it right away. I think the complexity is a little bit harder than you got to wrap your head around it. If I were to bring this to the game group at work, I think they would struggle a little bit. You need to know how to play trick takers. Number 1. I think that's rule number 1. If you don't like trick takers, don't get this just yet. Just find out if you like that. If you do, as you said, Chris, this is a nice twist on it. Kind of elevates it a little bit, and sometimes second is first. So that's what I would say. Daniela?
If you're not first, you're last. Okay. I think if you can find this easily accessible, I would say absolutely pick it up as a 5. Definitely grab this game. If you're, really wanting to play it and it's really expensive online, I'd say wait maybe. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to come back into print though, or if you can use David's source to maybe get the game. Again, if it's how much are these running for? Like on your friend's place?
Anywhere between like $30 and $40. Is what
Okay.
I'm saying.
All right. 40. Seems a little high for a card game. 30. Great.
Got to pay those tariffs.
Well, the card people can pay those. Anyways, yeah, coming in at 5 for me. 4 if it's a little bit more expensive. David.
Yeah, so I was going to go to 5, but I'm actually going to try to give it a 6 because now I know what the name means since Chris just told me. And this is really up my alley at that point. So if I could give it a 6, I would, but I can't. So I have to give it a 5. It was also on my top 15 of last year. So just a game I really enjoy, but I like playing trick takers. And so if you're kind of in that realm and you're looking for something that's fresh and just really easy to teach other people that know that kind of realm, that kind of world, I think you'll get a really good kick out of this game. And I think it has some legs.
Well, that brings us to the end of this mini episode of the Fifth Meeple Board Game Podcast. We hope you enjoyed our discussion on Schadenfreude, and if you'd like to get in touch, just email us at thefifthmeeple@gmail.com or reach out to us on social media. Of course, if you'd like our show, we'd love it if you give us a 5-star review to help us grow. And thanks again for listening. And until next time, remember, to feel envy is human, but to savor Schadenfreude is devilish. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Adios, amigos.
You're dumb.